technology-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you
maybe there'll be like a timber-to-timber magnet. That'd be good.
It's called a nail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have heard of them. Be pretty cost-effective to make new timber decals every time we're doing your beer, wouldn't it?
Oh, mate.
Put it out. Hattie with the mic and chatting news on all things beer. Joined by Phil, Dan, and Matt, or anyone else to join the cheer. Hiker Brewing is where we chat, cause it's where good beers are at. So pour it out.
All right, mate. Welcome. A different voice today than the Phil that I normally have on.
Yes, this is alternate Phil.
That's right.
Hello, everyone.
So, yeah, Dan from Hiker is stepping in for Phil from Hiker today because, well, Phil's over at East Brisbane.
It was a very early segue into the first topic, mate. You haven't even mentioned your sponsors.
This is true. Let's roll that out. Massive thanks to, as always, to Bintani, Craft Punks Canning, Convoy Kegs, Rattlings Labels and Stickers, and of course,
Hiker Brewing.
Concern.
Yeah, well,
I always had the concern.
I sort of dropped it.
And then Phil goes, "It is concerning."
Yeah, good old Phil.
2 venues is concerning.
He does like to stress. I don't blame him, but
No,
also
yeah.
I'm much more optimistic.
You're,
And,
you're not a stressor like Phil so much, mate.
in different ways.
Yeah, mate, before we get into how that is all going over there, what are we drinking today? We grabbed some cans out of the Mystery Esky
The Mystery Hesky. Yeah.
from our trip down.
Mate, one of the best beers in the country, I reckon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
7 Mile West Coast.
I love this beer. Joel loves this beer. He'll be sad that we're drinking it and didn't give him one, but sucks to be Joel.
Kept his half, so
That's
I'm sure
exactly
he's got a couple
right,
there.
mate. Yeah. He got all of his on his own, whereas I'm sharing mine with you guys. So.
So good.
Such a good beer. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, man. So, let us know what's going on with East Brisbane. I dropped in there on Friday last week.
Yep.
I had a mate up from Adelaide.
Yeah, nice.
Was it Friday last week?
Probably not,
Mate,
because there wouldn't have been anyone there on Friday.
No, because Hung was actually not with me. She was at work. So I was out with my mate and Cade and my mate's daughter, Miller,
Sounds
on
like
our
Saturday
own.
to me.
So, yeah, it was a Saturday. So, yeah, we pulled up in the driveway just so I could do a U-turn in the street because there was a good park right across from Future Magic, which is where we were going. And, yeah, I don't know. I pulled in just to do a U-bolt. And I saw all the guys in there working on the mural.
Yeah.
But, yeah, how's it going? Have you been over there recently to see what's going on?
Been over a few times in the last week or so.
Yep.
Well, generally Phil's been over there getting it all ready with other people because I'm stuck here in the brewery. But
there's no brew kit over there for you to turn beer out and know what's going on.
Not yet, that's for sure. We got rid of that.
Yeah.
Phil, you guys probably chatted about getting the brewer equipment out last week.
Yeah,
that was Tuesday.
Phil said it was a mission.
It was a mission. Yeah, very, very safe mission.
Yeah.
No one's lives were risked in the process.
No.
But yeah, no, it's going well. The mural is all but done. It'll be finished off tonight and tomorrow night.
Oh, excellent.
It was meant to be done by now, but we ran out of paint, and so did Officeworks. So
oh, right. Yeah, okay.
they got it back in today, so we're good.
Nice.
Been doing lots of cleaning, ordered new glassware, still transferring a beer over there. We'll do the bulk of the rest of that tomorrow and Thursday.
Yep. Is it going to have to be like a bi-weekly transfer of beer over there? Like, you won't know until you start selling beer, but can the cold room home hold a week's worth, or is it? Yeah,
no, it can definitely hold a week's worth.
Yeah.
No more than that. It is quite small, but yeah, we'll be doing weekly transfers. Yeah, and we'll be packing 2 new batches every week going forward anyway.
Yeah.
So we'd have to transfer them over regardless.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be a weekly stock take and then a weekly transfer, and
nice.
try and keep pie levels pretty good. But yeah, sort of fingers crossed. We're hoping to open the place up. Soft opening, but I mean, no one listens to this, do they?
No. You know, I think we average about 45 listens a week, so
Yeah, no,
that's good enough for me.
We're hoping to open the place up on Friday.
Yep.
We are still awaiting.
I will be there on Friday.
Interim permission from liquor licensing.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
we submitted everything last Monday, and it was meant to only take a couple of business days. So hopefully that comes through in the next day or two.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will.
Yep. Well, yeah, if it's open, I'm going there Friday.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not open, let me
No,
know.
I'll go there anyway.
Yeah. Can't sell you a beer, but I can give you one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell walks in and goes, well, boys, what are you doing?
Not selling beer, that's
No,
for sure.
mate, I bought it myself. Then he'd know.
Even if you didn't bring it yourself,
Yeah,
it's not illegal unless
That's
they
right.
sell it to you.
That's right. What's there's a few little logistical changes that you're going to have to deal with over there, like even something so simple as the decals on your bar. Because here you use magnets on your cold room.
Yeah.
It's not like that over there.
No,
Is it? You
No,
can't
it's not.
use-
No, magnets don't stick to wood.
No.
Apparently, we tried that. Didn't
Yeah.
work. So
So what have you got? Have you got a process? Are you just going to put up some metal things so that magnets can stick, and you just order double the magnets, or what's the?
yeah, well, we toyed with the idea of getting a very large magnet printed with a timber pattern on it
Oh yeah,
and sticking that to the wall.
Yep.
And then putting magnets on that.
yeah,
But I was worried. We were both worried that
Yep.
wouldn't look too great.
yeah.
And then I was like, well, why don't we just bloody print them out on paper and laminate them and then stick them up?
Yep.
And Phil was like, yeah, we could use Velcro dots. And I was like, perfect.
Perfect.
We just put Velcro dots up on the wall in all the right places, and then it's the same as the magnets.
Yeah, you're
really.
not going to move them. Like that's
Yeah.
where they are.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly. Yeah, so just swap them in and out, and that's the plan. So
Yeah.
it probably won't look quite as good as what the magnets do on our cold room wall, but I mean, it'll be fine.
Got to do what you can do, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Like in 3 years' time, you guys might have some new technology and stuff that you're putting up there, and
Yeah.
don't know how much you can improve on magnets, but technology-wise,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you put
maybe there'll be like a timber to timber magnet.
yeah.
That'd be good.
It's called a nail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have heard of them. Be pretty cost effective to make new timber decals every time we're doing your beer, wouldn't it?
Oh, mate, they're going to be fun. Yeah. Anything else that you've had to come across? That you've had a bit of a challenge that you're like, oh, damn it.
I mean, yes, definitely. It's the same as any venue opening. Like that's probably not true. It's probably a bit more crazy and last minute than some, because we didn't know we were going to be doing this 4 or 5 weeks ago. But yeah, totally last minute, like scrambling to get stuff sorted. We got our new POSs delivered today. Like 3 days out from opening.
Yep.
Hopefully. So like, yeah, we're trying to work through all the little stuff that we need to do before Friday, but at the same time we're dealing with big picture stuff like getting the kitchen in and where the grease trap's going to go, and we're talking to the body corporate and the landlord. The landlord doesn't really mind, but about where that goes and how that works, and
all these little incendiary things that incendent, whatever that word
incidental.
is. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
that'll
something.
do.
Yeah,
Probably not incendiary. I think that means
this isn't
on fire.
a grammar podcast. It's or vocabulary maybe. But, yeah, nice.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll come to Friday and go, this is awkward.
Yeah.
We don't have this, and this, and this, and then
No.
we'll go out and grab it.
Yeah, it's the things you forgot
That's
to
why
get.
it's a soft opening.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we're lucky no one listens to the podcast. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. Mate, a couple of sad ones this week with Brew Baron Beer Co. Sealed up, all done and dusted. Short notice, couldn't get the send off that they wanted.
Yeah.
A few people in the know sort of knew it might have been coming, but they wanted to go out on their own way, and unfortunately couldn't.
Yeah.
With, from all reports, unhelpful landlords, I guess. Who knows?
I was about to ask how much we were talking about, but you just said unhelpful landlords, so that gives me a bit of an idea.
That's, I mean, that's what you sort of think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Matt's over there, but I don't think he wants to come over, and he's not going to tell us and
Probably not his
be on
favourite
the
topic
record.
right now.
No, not at all. So no.
But yeah, I obviously it hasn't gone super well for them. I think it sucks because I think these guys that bought Parched and renamed it have sunk a fair bit of money and obviously
put a lot
time.
of effort in, and their brand and everything. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, hasn't really worked out. And yeah, they had grand plans to get other investors on board and sort of step back as managers and let new people run it.
Yep.
But sounds like the landlord was not keen on that. So
yeah, I think sometimes it just push comes to shove, right, and can't move forward. And then the other big one in our backyard is Brewski.
Yeah.
Matt and Ant having to. I mean, that's again. I guess it's a landlord thing, but it's not their landlord saying you need to get out. But
No.
the rent's gone up.
Yeah.
Obviously, the landlord sees the value in the venue increasing in rent and couldn't come to an agreement to get it over the line so that Brewski could stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, how many beers have you had at Brewski?
Like probably more than I can't remember than the ones I can remember. To be fair,
I know.
Yeah, this makes me really sad.
Yeah,
I actually feel really emotional talking about it because I think this is the biggest blow to the Brisbane scene yet. Like, the mill was super sad.
yeah,
I loved the mill. That was great. And other places as well, obviously. But Brewski's been around for so long, and it's been such an
pioneered
institution.
a lot of good ways to make beer fun and engaging and educational and
Matt's always been very loose with his wallet and just bought lots of
mate.
stupid beers from
I know,
overseas.
right?
And
that's how
we've
many
all
of us have
benefited.
been able to taste these beers that we all wanted, just because of his stupidity of just pressing the go button.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's sad because people that aren't in the brewing or hospo dining industry, like that whole sector, is really struggling right now.
Yeah.
And I think probably, I don't know for sure, but probably the landlord thinks there's a lot more value in that site than there actually is right now. Like, it's Caxton Street. Game days are massive. Like,
Yeah, but
obviously,
what's going to go in there?
Well, that's the question,
Like, what
right?
would you put in there that is going to be more successful? A fine dining thing?
I mean, the
or
only thing
something,
that's
or-
going to do better is something that has lower costs, like
Yeah.
a contracted bar with contracted taps,
Yeah.
or maybe a restaurant. I don't know.
wine
but,
bar.
like,
But yeah, you're right. Like,
I think the landlord probably thought that Matt and Ant were doing a lot better than they actually were, and
well, in the article on the Crafty Pint, Matt and Ant both mentioned that the Brew bottle shops, my beer dealer, have been like at Eagle Junction and
been propping it up.
Yeah, been propping it up.
Yeah.
and
Which
and
is-
that's not what they would want either. They wouldn't want that for Brewski.
No, and that's back to front, right? Like, there's way more costs and less margin in a bottle shop than there is selling beer over taps.
Yep.
But I think partly it's the economic climate and the cost of living. People are getting more takeaways and having nights in than they would have previously. And I think people are also kind of more used to doing that now after COVID
Yeah. Yep.
as well. But yeah, man, I'm so sad about it.
Yeah, it's also, they've got the added challenge is that the hotel licenses that the My Beer dealers run out of come from Brewski.
Yeah.
And so, there's talk of them getting another venue or someone helping them out who has a hotel license that can piggyback them on it. But we certainly don't know. I'm sure the good thing about Matt is that he always shares what they're doing and just tells everyone, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everyone will know soon enough.
Some of us already do.
Oh, there we go.
No, I don't know much, but I have heard from Matt that they, as a backup, they have at least made a deal to use someone else's hotel license.
That was in the Crafty Pine article. That there's a thing there, so...
Yeah, so
I mean, they wouldn't
someone who
walk-
has a hotel license but doesn't have the bottle shops.
If they're going to keep the bottle shops going, that would have been in place. There's no way they would have shut down Brewski without being able to know
it was probably in place
where can our
first.
business pivot
to
be able to keep
at the very
going.
least, there'll be a Morningside and Eagle Junction bottle shop, and But yeah, I really hope, and I've been on commercialrealestate.com and I've been sending Matt links. Like, I really want them to find somewhere.
I know of a few places that have things, and I'm sort of like...
The issue is, right, like, I'm assuming they don't have a huge war chest to sort of wait out an application, so they need to find somewhere that's already licensed with a commercial hotel license, which is very much easier said than done. There's a lot of places that would suit a bar, but... anyway, fingers crossed for those guys. I really hope there's another Brewski of sorts.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But as you said before, it is an institution.
Absolutely.
It was one of the first places where, like, if someone said, "Oh, where's a good place to go and drink beer?" and you'd be like, "Well, do you want to go to a brewery? Or do you want to go to a bar?" If they said, "Oh, go to a bar," oh man, you've got Brewski, you've got Scratch. You know, you start with the places that you go to, and you've had great beers at all the time. So
Yeah, love that place.
Yeah. Dutch Trading Co. Did you ever get over there in WA?
I didn't. I've actually never been to WA. I've been to a lot of places in this country, but I have not crossed that border.
I've been there a couple of times. I love Perth. Perth, amazing. So yeah, if you ever can get over there, definitely get over there.
Yep.
Heap of breweries over there now, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame that those guys closed because they were a cool place to go, really cool venue. Got a really, it was similar over here. It's one of those places where you talk about.
Yeah, I've definitely heard the name a lot of times.
Yeah.
So sad to see.
Mate, I got another article on old stuff today. So
I see this historic
beer making method makes a comeback. So this is a beer called Burton Unions. I don't know if you've heard of brewing beer in Burton Unions. So
I've heard of Burton upon Trent.
Yep. So that's where it gets its name. So it comes from way back when, in the 19th century, which always confuses me because that's the 1800s.
Correct.
But because I'm just not smart like that. But this was way back when, like, everyone used to drink out of pewter mugs, and then they were replaced by glass, and people could see what was in their glass, and they didn't really like drinking this. Back then, didn't like drinking hazy beers. Would you believe?
Same girl.
So, go back with one of your cloudscapes and go, ha ha! They'd be freaked out by what you did. But
maybe we should get pewter mugs.
Maybe that's what we need to do. But so basically, what it is, it's this system, and they're big wooden barrels that are laid down on their side, and there's a system. It's almost like a siphon sort of thing, but there's a whole bunch of pipes and that attached.
Like a dip tube that doesn't go to the bottom.
Doesn't go to the bottom, and it also goes up into a troughs up above where the yeast, as it ferments and all goes up out of the tube, it goes into these troughs and runs in and gets used in the next beers.
Yep.
And then the beer in the barrels just keeps going and it's nice and clear.
There you go.
So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so this big town brewery over in the UK bought all these places that still had these Burton Unions and was shutting them down. And so now there's a brewery in New York City who's like going, hang on, we want one.
Yeah, right.
And so they bought one, put it over in New York City, and now they're brewing these beers in New York City using these Burton Unions, which just, I'm like you, man. This stuff just fascinates me.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, like it would have been, almost impossible to serve a bright, clear beer from a barrel fermented product, right?
Yeah.
It's quite smart. Just reading about it and the way that it recirculates and
yeah.
And I know nothing about cask ale.
Oh man, no, I don't know. Actually, Matt would know. He lived in the UK for a while, so he did do that. But they got this Jaipur IPA.
Yeah, nice. It's good beer.
Yeah. So I reckon it'd be cool to taste these beers. And so if you're in New York and listening, go and try this Jaipur IPA and get back to us.
Yeah, all those New York listeners.
We can't get over there.
Just don't tell anyone that we might be opening on Friday.
Yeah.
Especially in New York.
We don't want all of the New Yorkians. New Yorkers? Yeah.
Probably New Yorkers.
New
I think.
Yorkers.
Yeah.
I was reading as I was saying it. I was reading the Burton Unions.
New
Yorkians.
Are they making traditional like Burton style beers on it, or are they trying to make modern beers on the same equipment?
I think I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because Burton on Trent is known for its IPAs. Like that's where the English IPA came from, right?
Yep.
Because the Burton water is very sulfate
yeah,
heavy.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it mentions that too in the article about the mineral system and minerals and that's why it was called that. But I just fascinating. I love this sort of shit.
Yeah, very cool. Same as you know. But like people trying to keep traditions and historical practices alive today is very cool to see. It's probably not the most cost effective thing, but
I
love it. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was sort of going to segue.
Yeah.
You can if you like.
No, I didn't have a segue.
Oh, good. Well, it's not really a segue. Now that I think about it, it's sort of the opposite.
I wouldn't ride a Segway, would you? After my smash and whacking my face last year.
Yeah, well, I haven't done that.
Having to rebuild my face on a scooter.
I could do a
Segways,
Segway.
I reckon, would not be something I want to go on.
Yeah, no, I could do a Segway. At least it's got handlebars. The little...
So did the scooter.
The little two-wheel... Yeah,
Just don't take your hands off them.
So did the scooter. Yeah, you do have to use the handlebars. That is the key.
Yeah.
No, but you know the little Segway-looking things with no handlebars? Like, you just lean forward and they move? That scares me.
Yeah.
I could do a Segway, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, no handlebars? Whew, I don't know.
Yeah, like those wheels, is that what they're called?
I don't know what they're called, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, speaking of those, we've been trying to use as many liquid hop extracts in our beers as we can, because obviously, like,
Will you get more volume?
well, it's more volume. We're losing less beer to actual hop matter, but also like they're concentrated flavour. Like they're punchy, they're great.
Yep.
And I've done Hira NZ Hazy a couple of times, and we've used Hop Keef from Freestyle Hops in those. But obviously that's a New Zealand company, and they only have New Zealand hops, which are great, but there's not a huge variety to choose from. But Bintani's started getting in a few new liquid extracts, which are very similar.
The one I talked about them, the weed ones.
Did you?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it's a big thing, and I think like everyone used to use whole flowers, right? Whether they were fresh or dried. Yep. And then pellets came along, and probably a lot of brewers were like, "Oh no, we're not using pellets. We'll do it the proper way."
Whole cone. Yeah.
And I can see the same thing happening now with extracts. Like, there's a lot of breweries experimenting with them, but I wouldn't be surprised if the volume of extract sort of starts to overtake actual pellets at some point. Like, it depends on the price, of course, but
yeah, well, it is the price. Like, that's why Cryo and Lupo Max was also championed, because it was such a it was almost twice the cost, but you only used half as much. Yeah. So the mechanics were there, and
you get more beer.
And you got more beer. So you get more beer, you can sell more beer, and so I think these things. Do you reckon it'll work for home brewers? Like, are these sort of things filtering down to home brewers? Are they being packaged and being able to be utilised? Like, if you've got a home brew kit brewing 30 litres, it's such a small amount that you need to add. You can go up and down like dramatically, and will affect your beer.
Yeah, no, I don't think, I mean, never say never, but I highly doubt this sort of thing will end up being packaged in small enough volumes for home brewers, because like the Hop Keef from Freestyle Hops, for example, 275 mils of that is roughly equivalent, they say, in flavour to a 5 kilo dry hop. Yeah. Right? So at the most, like absolute top end, you're dry hopping with maybe 300 grams at home. Yep. And that's like less than a tenth, right? So it's like 20 mils or something. Yeah. Like, it might happen. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely made for bigger scales.
Yeah. Yep. Well, some home brewers have some huge scales compared to
that is true
too, don't they? Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and I love the fact that some of these things are coming out and they're not designed for the home brewer, but the home brewing market is obviously huge. And their home brewers are always going to want to use what the big guys are using because, for the same reasons as we do. It's more efficient, they get more beer, and it can work out cheaper. So
yeah, even without the commercial impacts of it on that scale, it's like there's cool new stuff, we want to try it.
Yeah. Well, also there's less chance of oxidation and things as well. So you've got a lot of benefits to it as well. So yeah, nice. Mate, the next one. So this is a US article. Independence Day was on 4th of July, 5 days ago. For us, unless you're in New York drinking the Jaipur IPA, shout out to you guys. And it's only 6 days away. But the Independence Day, and this is more just a real good article that beer that was ordered overall for Independence Day hit a 3-year high. So that means that obviously a lot more beer was ordered for Independence Day, but craft beer lost out massive.
Interesting.
It was down almost 12% compared to last year. So
right.
Whereas all the imports and every other beer was almost the same or more.
Yeah, so the only other sector that was slightly down, nowhere near as much as craft, was the premium regular.
Yep.
So like premium full strengths.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean that's got to be cost of living related, surely.
100%. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just attributed to that, and I think people are just wanting to, like Independence Day in America is huge, and I think that is the sort of thing that people are still wanting to celebrate and enjoy their Independence Day as they do over there, but also can't afford to do it how they usually do.
They're on a budget.
And it's hurting them. So
yeah, and like America's craft beer market has been struggling for quite some time.
Yeah.
And it still is. Like there's still small breweries and big breweries sort of closing over there.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, like we were talking about it though before, like you're saying, like the premium regular is the only one that's down, but then premium lights didn't move.
Yeah.
Below premium only just got in. Imports were up.
Yeah.
But seltzer.
Yeah. Yeah, the two biggest increases were seltzer and cider.
Yeah, crushed it. So
interesting. I hadn't actually picked that out, but now that you say it, yeah. So potentially it's budget related, obviously, but like maybe it's also to do with that younger generation drinking less beer and more fruity, like non-alcoholic tasting drinks.
Yep. That generation, they want flavour in their beer, flavour in their drinks. They don't necessarily like the malt or the bitterness of beer. So
yeah, it's happening here as well. Like the amount of, I mean, obviously we're out in the suburbs, so that probably has an impact. But the amount of young people we get in here is very low. And then when we do get young people in here, they're asking about ginger beers or ciders or, what's not beer. There's not that many sort of people in their 20s that do come here asking for a beer.
Yeah. Mate, so the next one, if I was to ask you what is the best beer destination in Europe,
well, I mean,
where do you reckon you would guess?
The title says that it's not what you would think. So
yeah, and I read the article, and
I didn't.
It's super interesting.
No, well, if you ask me the best beer destination in Europe, I would say, there's Oktoberfest, so like Munich or, or Czech Republic, like Prague, maybe obviously Belgium, like going for the funky stuff and the Belgian beers. But
So
what is it that I don't expect?
Madrid.
I definitely did not expect that. I expected it to be like a smaller sort of backwater town in Germany or Belgium or something like that.
Yeah. No, it came out with a rating of 85, followed closely by Prague, Vienna, Budapest, a whole bunch of cities I can't pronounce.
Thessaloniki, that's in Greece. Valencia is Italy.
Jeez, look at you go.
Porto, I'm not sure, but that sounds like Italy. Brussels is Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, London and Dublin didn't even get in the top 20. And it's not just, like, don't just think these are big people that are big cities that are just drinking lagers and stuff. Like, it's not just that at all. The best city for IPAs is Lyon. The best city for craft beer is Copenhagen. And not Dublin or London, it's Madrid.
Yeah, right. Where's Lyon, do you know? That sounds English, but...
No, I don't. I'm terrible with geography, as everyone
fair
probably knows. The cheapest beer.
Cheapest beer. Yeah, okay, here we go.
The cheapest beer can be found in Porto and Valencia, with the average price for a pint just over $200. Now, I don't know.
That doesn't seem cheap.
No, that doesn't seem cheap. Oh dear, yeah, man. So, yeah, I had no idea on any of those, but I just thought it was a really interesting article.
Yeah, so $200 a pint. Surely there's a mistake there. But
yeah, well, I don't know, in Porto, so that's Portugal. So what's the...
I don't think it is. Porto sounds like it's probably in Italy, as is Valencia.
Porto?
That's my guess.
Let's have a look. Porto. City in Portugal.
Oh, okay. I'll take it back.
So
I'm really good at geography.
Yeah, well, you're probably better than me, but I'm going to look up how do I spell Portugal.
So the cheapest beer in Europe is in Porto, Portugal, and Valencia, Italy. Valencia is in Italy, right?
Yes.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yep. No, Valencia's in Spain.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Which, goes with the whole vibe of the article, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's 100. Oh, that's totally incorrect. So Porto...
No, it can't be euro.
It can't be euro.
Unless they've actually mistyped the number. It can't be euro.
LMNOP. What a Portuguese currency?
Well, I would have thought Portugal and Spain were both on the euro, but...
Yeah. So...
Maybe it's meant to have a decimal. Maybe it's meant to be €2.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my guess.
Yep. Look at us, worldly travellers.
Yeah. It even says in the next sentence, maybe you should book a trip to Portugal or Spain. I probably should have looked at that.
If that said $200 dong, if we were talking about Vietnam,
yeah, well,
I would know.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
That would be very cheap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Anything else, mate?
Nothing that comes to mind.
No. Me either. I think we finished our beer and might go and
have
another one.
Might need another one.
Yeah. Pretty thirsty.
Fancy that.
Tuesday afternoon. So yeah.
Trail runners are starting to arrive.
Yeah, it looks like they're going. Every 2 weeks they go,
run.
hey?
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I thought it was every month. Yeah.
No, every second Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many of them have a beer beforehand too.
No, it doesn't surprise me. I've seen them here enough times now.
Yeah. Well, they came here for a brew day last Saturday, and I'll tell you what.
They drank you out.
It was something. I think it was actually not all due to them, but it was probably our best day ever that didn't have an event on.
That's right. Phil was talking about that the other week. Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
The One Sock beer, is that out yet?
It is not out yet.
Have any of them
still in tank?
Have any of them admitted to being a one socker?
Well, I mean, there's only one person.
We only found out what it meant last week.
Oh, did Phil tell you?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, no, only one of them's admitted to it, and that was the guy that brought it up as an idea for a beer. We can go around and ask him tonight if you want.
No, I think it's all right.
But yeah, no, I'm getting the coffee from Fortitude Roasters tomorrow.
Nice.
And be bunging that in on Thursday. And yeah, it'll be chilled and biofined and ready to pack late next week. So
hella good. So you're doing a Fortitude beer?
Something like that.
Love it, mate. Pour it out.
Pour it out.
This is where you say hiker brewing. Take a hike.
Hiker brewing. What are we like?
You say take a hike. Phil said take a hike.
Premier sponsors. Yeah, hiker brewing. Take a hike.